So BH Cosmetics appears to be back and in full force. If you guys remember, they filed bankruptcy and Makeup Revolution London bought them. I didn't know if they're going to like completely change their formula or what they were going to do, but I saw about a month or so ago, BH Cosmetics launched these new quads. So it looks like they're back. I didn't get any of those quads. They didn't really capture my attention, but when I went on the website, which is back up and running again, and I clicked the new tab, I saw this collection. This is the Nude Ego collection. It has face palettes, blush palettes, and then a 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. There's also a bigger palette. I don't know how many shades are in it, but it looked like there was like 25 or 30 shades. Completely nude palette, gradient from lighter nudes to like deeper nudes, $20, very reasonably priced. I was very tempted to get it, but I decided against it. I have so many other palettes that have those shades in it, and while the palette was beautiful and I would have loved to have it, I didn't really need it. Not that I need any of my makeup, but as far as adding to my collection, I didn't think that it would add anything new, so I did resist. Who knows, I may decide to pick it up one day, but for this video, I just grabbed one of these 6 pans. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each individual little piece here and then put together our look as we go along. I've moved my box lights out a little bit further to see if that will help with that kind of blown out effect that I was getting when I'm like applying eyeshadow and then the camera just blows out. So I'm hoping pulling the lights away will kind of help even that out. We'll see how that goes as we film this video. But let's start off with the face palette. This is the In the Buff face palette, all in one. They had a light to medium and a medium to deep. I, of course, grabbed the medium to deep. There are 2 highlighters, and then these are like contour bronzers. Although these are more cool toned, and they seem to have kind of a pinkier undertone to them. These 2 are luminescent and these 2 are mattes. I am going to swatch out the highlighters so you guys can see them. They're so super creamy. You have a more pinky highlight and then you have a more orangey gold. Both of these are going to be a little bit deep for me as far as highlighters. I will definitely give them a try, but just in a swatch, I'm pretty sure they're going to be too deep. But what I really liked about this palette, and one of the reasons why it caught my attention, is that even if none of these work as a bronzer for me, even if these are too deep for me as a highlighter, the palette as a whole will work really well as like an everyday kind of a cool toned nude palette that you can use just to put together everyday nude looks. Beautiful for the fall. These will also be really pretty going into the summer. So yeah, just for multiple reasons, this palette caught my attention. I am going to try one of the bronzers. I think I'm going to try this one. I like bronzers that are a little more warm toned. Like I said, these do look a little more cool, but I do want to see what that one looks like blended in to my skin. Right now I'm not wearing any bronzer, blush, or anything, just my basic base products. The brush I'm going to be using to apply my bronzer is from Aloe Studios. This is part of a 10-piece brush set. You can buy the brushes individually now, but it's a really nice brush, perfect for applying bronzer. So let's dip into this bronzer. There is quite a bit of fallout in this palette, so just kind of lightly dip in there. Take this and we are going to apply it. I'm going to apply it the way that I do my bronzers, just buffing it in with this brush. Okay, so far pulling the lights back seems to be helping with that blowout. I did apply a little bit more in this area, but I like to just buff it in to the skin. This one appears warmer than some of the other tones do, but it still has kind of a cooler, pinkier tone to it. I prefer something a little bit warmer. It may not work well for me as a bronzer, but as just like an eyeshadow palette that I can use every day, I think it's going to be really pretty. I'm going to take my sponge and just kind of blend everything out so we don't have like super harsh lines going on the forehead, because it is a little deep and it does have more of a pinkier, cooler undertone than I normally like. Now going into blush. The palette that I picked up is the Flatter Me I Don't Give an F palette. There were two color stories. The other one, I don't remember the name. I will drop the palette up here so you guys can see what it looks like, but it has more, as you can see, peachier, more coral tones. That one reminded me more of like summer, spring, whereas this one reminded me more of like the fall going into winter. Now I do wear, you know, my blushes, all of them, during any time of year, but there are certain color stories and certain tones that just really appeal to me more so during certain times of the year. And this one, like I said, just more fall, more winter for me. I just think it's so pretty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these out really quickly so we can see what they look like and then pick one to put on our face. So this is the palette swatched out. You have a light kind of a baby pink shade, and then going into berries. You have a deeper plum here. This one is more wine. This shade right here is really catching my attention. All of these appear to be matte in the swatch, but on the face we might see a little bit more glow. So we'll see what it looks like when it's actually applied to our cheeks. And I think I want to go into this one. That shade is this shade right here, which has more of a wine tone, and I think it'll go really pretty with the palette that I picked out, which I will show you in a moment. I'm going to take this angled fluffy brush, also from that AOA Shot Miss A collection, lightly tap into this blush because I have a feeling it's going to be super pigmented, and just start lightly applying it to our cheeks. And then I'm going to take it kind of into my temple area. I guess we call that draping. I just feel like this application just looks better on my face shape. Okay, as you can see applied, there is a little bit more of a glow, so it's not like a straight matte. But that is so pretty. I'm going to take this a little bit and just apply it to the other cheek. Since there is glow already to this blush, I'm not going to try one of the highlighters. It's in the face palette. I think it'll be too much. I think this is just enough, and it is so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm going to give my face a quick spritz with my Kimchi Chick Stage Proof Matte Setting Spray. Alright, now for the eyeshadow. The palette that I picked out is the Unleashed Wild palette. There are 6 shades in here. I think there were 4 different color stories. 2 are still currently available. I think you guys can see why I picked this one, why I gravitated toward this one. If you are new to my channel, green is my absolute favorite eyeshadow shade of all time, followed by orange. Whenever I see a green color story, it just grabs my heartstrings and I have to pick it up. And this palette was like, I think $10, very, very reasonably priced. So yeah, I definitely had to pick this up. So we're going to go ahead and swatch this one out and then get to putting these shadows on our eyelids. I'm going to go ahead and apply my Colourpop Party Proof Eyeshadow Primer. This is in caramel. We can have a chance to just kind of sit down and get ready while I'm swatching this eyeshadow palette. So this is the eyeshadow palette swatched out. You have 3 shimmers and 3 mattes. This first one, Untamed, is just a very kind of minty shimmer. No duochrome, no multichrome, just single smooth metallic shimmer. So pretty. And then you have 3 mattes, Lush, Spirit, and Feisty. Yes, Feisty. Spirit is a lighter minty kind of a shade. That one I did have to build up a little bit of swatches. These 2 just swatched absolutely beautifully. And then the last 2 shimmers, Taboo and Savage. These 2, hold on, let me see if I can get Savage a little more here. These 2 are definitely duochromes. I don't know if you can see that in the video. This one, Taboo, is more of a gold to green shift, and then the last one, Savage, has a green to purple shift. There might even be a little bit of blue in here. This one might be like a multichrome instead of a duochrome. But that is all the shades swatched out. So beautiful. The formula, the tones, everything is stunning. So let's jump into putting together our eye look. To start off, I'm going to take the E132. This is from AOA Studio. This is part of another brush set. And we're going to go into Lush, which is this lightest shade. I want to lay that in this inner part of the eye. And then we're going to take this one into the crease and then this one onto the outer corner. We should be able to put this look together pretty quickly. Shades are very pigmented, but they're going to blend out very quickly. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. So soft and just so buttery in the way that they feel. I have definitely missed BH Cosmetics as a brand. They're right up there with Colourpop with having really good formulas that are also very affordable. I'm glad that they didn't end up actually on like Makeup Revolution's website with Makeup Revolution completely changing everything, because that would have been very sad. All right, that is very pretty. So now I'm going to take this fluffier brush from Blend Bunny. This is the B5, and we're going to use this to take the shade Spirit right here and just kind of blend that all over the lid into the crease, mainly focusing on the crease. So right in here, and then blend that into the outer part of the eye. So do you guys have any special plans for the week going into the weekend? Today is Tuesday, October 4th. I think it is. We were originally going to take the kids to this like jack-o'-lantern trail that they were supposed to be having in Shelby Farms. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. If you don't know, Shelby Farms is our big giant state park, kind of like in the middle. It was called Jack-o'-lantern World, and what it was supposed to be was this like trail of jack-o'-lanterns that have been carved by like different organizations and stuff. And so you could just kind of walk along this path and see this really pretty cool carved jack-o'-lanterns. But when I went to the website to try and buy tickets, the event apparently has been canceled, which makes me very sad because I was looking forward to it. That would have been like a little fun event to take the kids to. I think they would have really enjoyed that. And wow, this shade is blending so beautifully. I mean, look at that. Pigmented, smooth, no patchiness. So far, so good. That's like a perfect crease shade. So now for the outer corner, I'm going to take Blend Bunny 1, and we are going to go into Feisty, which is the deepest green shade. Blend that here. I'm curious to see if it's going to look similar to Spirit on the eyelid. In the palette, Spirit is definitely lighter, Feisty is deeper, but you know sometimes the tones can look similar. Let's see. Ooh, actually, while the tones are similar, Feisty has more warmth to it, and it's definitely deeper. It has more of that kind of army military green kind of going on. Very pretty. I'm just going to blend that on that corner. So I think instead we're going to take the kids to see Lilo Crocodile, which is based on the children's book of the same name, and it stars Shawn Mendes as Lyle. When I saw the trailer, I got very excited. I love Shawn Mendes as an artist. I think he's a very talented young man, and this movie just looks super cute. I don't know if the teenagers are going to want to go see it. You know how teenagers are, but I know the 9-year-old's definitely going to be interested in that, so we're going to go and check that out, I think, instead. Ooh, so pretty. All right, now for the shimmers. We're going to take the shade Taboo on this flat shader brush. I got this as part of a brush collection. I think it's Doe Color a million years ago on Amazon. So we're going to use this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into the shade. The shade is a little crumbly, so I'm going to take it on the brush, and then I'm going to spray it with my setting spray just to kind of foil it a little bit, I guess, and get it to kind of adhere to the eyelid just a little bit better. So, oh, that is such a beautiful shimmer shade. You can see that kind of green to gold reflect in it. Did any of you pick up the little quads that BH Cosmetics launched like a month or so ago when they came back onto the scene? If you did, let me know down in the comments what you thought about them. They look like smaller, more curated versions of the travel series, if you guys remember. It looked like they took shades from the bigger palettes and then curated them to smaller palettes. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to go back in with Feisty, and I just want to blend the edges so that we don't have like that harsh line between the matte and the shimmer. We don't like harsh lines. We like everything to flow together. Just to bring some of the mattes down to the lower lash line, I'm going to take this little small pointy brush, also from an Amazon collection of brushes I got a million years ago, and dip into Feisty. And I just want to take that along the lower lash line. I got a little bit of fallout right there. Fun times. I'm going to take the smallest brush from Blend Bunny. This is the B3, and I'm going to dip into Untamed and lay that in the inner corner. And that will be it for our shadows. This is such a bright, wet-looking shade. So pretty. Perfect for the inner corner. I'm going to take just a little bit on that same pointy brush and take it here just to add a little more brightness in the lower lash line in the inner corner as well. So that's everything that I picked up in this collection. I'm going to go off camera, throw on liner, lashes, something in my waterline, put something on my lips, and then we will kind of talk about this collection and what I thought about it now that I've had a chance to actually put the collection in action. So that is the final look complete. Let me know, guys, down in the comments what you think. I think it came together really well. I'm loving all of the tones and the way that they work together. This 6-pan palette is so freaking pretty. I will say that the shades are similar to ones, if not almost identical to ones that I have in my big Beauty Bay palette, the earthy palette, but it's nice to have something that's a little more curated, so you know, if I'm traveling, then I can just throw this one in my makeup bag. I don't have to grab the gigantic earthy palette and still be able to achieve a similar look. The formula in this palette was so smooth, so buttery. These shimmers were so freaking creamy. I loved working with this palette. I might have to go back in and grab the other one just because I enjoyed this one so much. If you're wanting to know the rest of the products are on my face, just check my description box below. I will definitely have everything listed down there. I also loved this blush palette. The shade that I used was so smooth, so super pigmented, and I love the fact that it has that little slight glow to it. So freaking pretty. I'm looking forward to using some more of these shades. I may have to go back in and grab the other blush palette as well. Very inexpensive, very pretty. I love the formula in this one, and I'm pretty sure I would love the other one as well. It's just such a pretty palette to work with. The In the Buff palette, I only used one shade, and that was this one right here as a bronzer. It's a little cool toned. It's got a little more kind of a pinkish undertone. For me, if I was to use this as a face palette, I think these would be more suited as like blushes, kind of a bronzy blush rather than a bronzer. But this can also be used as an everyday kind of a cool, neutral, nude eyeshadow palette to put together really pretty nude eyeshadow looks. I'm definitely going to try that too and see what I think about it and bring in these two shimmers right here because these two are absolutely stunning. So that is it for the collection. Let me know, guys, what did you think? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help with my channel. If you are new to my channel and you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider joining my little family, hitting subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you can be notified of any videos coming up in the future. You can also follow me on my other socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure you're following me on Instagram. I realized that I had not been utilizing my Instagram stories, so I'm trying to post there daily, kind of like mini little vlogs, just like different things that I'm doing throughout the day. So definitely follow me if you are not already. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.